Hey chat, I'm uploading again because me and said fantastical lover, fantastical not in like wow fantastic, but like fantasy, just had a really enticing conversation about being a bad person. So there was this girl in my unit um a while ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, and she was always very happy-go-lucky no matter what. And I think, like, being kind, you can be jealous, right? And you can try to copy someone, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go wear Aritzia and I'm gonna, cut my bangs and I'm gonna dye my hair. You can always steal physical traits like that, but you can't steal a good heart. Because in order to be a good person, that has to come from within. It's like an intrinsic thing. You can't feign kindness. You can't feign being a good person because then you're not a good person. You're just like a wolf in sheep's clothing, And you can't be a bad person privately because being bad, it bleeds into other aspects of your life. You can't be all nice and happy to everyone else and then go do all your bad person stuff at night. I don't know. It just bugs me because everyone wants, I feel like it's a popular idea that you want to be liked by everyone, right? And I don't need everyone's validation. I'm not that kind of person. But it would be nice to just kind of be that person who does change lives, who does, in a good way. I'm sure I've changed some lives for the worse. And be that person who strikes change within people. And you're thinking about them years later and you're like, that's my favorite person. She was always so happy. She always had something kind to say, a positive outlook on something. She was so nonchalant and cool. And I will never be that person. That mindset is something that you have to adopt and you have to fully envelop. But growing up the way I did and being dealt the cards I had shaped me into the person I am today. And obviously I've done a lot to change it. I would like to think I'm nothing like my mother and nothing like my father. But I think a lot of what they put me through shaped who I am and why I do what I do. And sometimes, it's hard to change, if not impossible. But everyone's like, there's always still hope. Don't sell yourself short. But I'm selling myself short. And I tried taking the approach of like, well, if you are okay with who you are when you are alone, I see no reason to change. And that's something that he said too. We were talking about that and he said those words or something along those lines. And those were thoughts that occurred to me often where I was like, I'm okay with who I am, so I don't feel the need to change. But I'm coming to a point in my life where I won't get far if I continue being the person I am. Bad people don't get far. And if they do, it all comes crashing down one way or another. Good people get to genuinely enjoy life. And when you're genuinely good, you expect nothing in return. And that's the issue with someone like me who is trying to be good, but you expect something in return. So when you're putting forth all this extra effort to be someone that isn't you, it doesn't come naturally to you. You're forcing yourself to be kind. You're forcing yourself to think of others and to make mindful decisions. It feels so worthless when nothing comes back to you. And the only person I will ever push myself that way for is my mother. She's sick, right? I always try to take good care of her and everything. But seeing that nothing changes in her mind and that I'm still like some evil person to her, no matter how much I'm trying to be this kind person that I'm not and doing all these kind things for her and going out of my way and not even getting like a thank you or any acknowledgement in return, it feels like a waste. So why would I continue putting forth that effort when I could be just the person I am, a bad person, and get the same treatment in return? Like nothing will change whether or not I'm good or bad. And I have such hard trouble thinking about the long game. Being like, okay, well, if I'm good now and I keep this up for a while, in the future it will reward me. I hate thinking about the long game. That is something that genuinely pisses me off. Everyone's like, are you sure you want to join the Marines? Which, speaking of which, I have my Marine Corps shirt on. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you have to think about it long term. And I remember sitting through this hour-long lecture with one of my fake dad's friends. And he was telling me about how the Air Force conditions you into being an independent thinker, and it puts you forth with this sense of individuality that that cultivates your success for the future. And I was like, I think success is subjective, you know? And it all depends on what you do with the tools you are given. You know? And he's like, well, if you have a chance to change the tools in your toolbox, wouldn't you? And I was like, well, I have to make sure the tools I have don't work first. You know, I'm 18. I can switch branches when I'm 24 and then go do something else. It's not like I'm not going to lose who I am, who I built up being for 18 years in a matter of 4 years. That's not how that shit works. The person you are today, I feel, has pieces of who you were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. You know? Some parts of me haven't changed since I was 10. Some parts of me haven't changed since I was 16. Obviously, minuscule parts. I would hope you'd make some changes since your teen years. But I don't know where that guy was getting at. I mean, just leave me be. Where was I going with this? Change. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know. I want to be a good person. No, I don't. I want to have everything a good person has. And I feel like good people have it all. They're happy. They are adored by all. There's nothing bad to say about them. I mean, this girl in my unit, no one has ever talked crap about her. I mean, she was physically fit. She was cute. And she was always just so happy and smiling. And she had an awesome smile. I love that girl. She was so cool. And that's me saying that. And I always have something negative to say about everybody. I mean, the one negative thing I guess I do have to say is, like, what the fuck are you so happy about? This world is so cruel. But I guess you're not even wasting energy if it's just something that comes to you. Everyone's like frowning takes more muscles than smiling. Well, that's why I don't frown. I just go like this. This is just my face. And this takes less muscle than this. And on top of that, I just don't, like, being a good person is genuinely hard for me. And that's why I struggle so much with being put in all these leadership positions, is now there's this expectation for me to be good. Now everyone's looking at me. Now I have to be mindful of everything I do because there's other people that are going to reciprocate it. And the last thing I want in this world is a bunch of mini-me's running around, because my God, I'm not a good person. And no, nothing I've done keeps me up at night, but I would really like to reap the benefits of being a good person. But I just can't bring it. But I can't bring myself to be. I can't. It's just hard. This shit is so hard. And I feel like, you know, being a good person, you get nothing but good stuff, because the world gives unto you what you give unto it. But, like, this is really difficult, and I'm not sure it's something that I want to keep trying. I think I'm okay with being a bad person. This is where I'm content. I'm not okay with the consequences of being a bad person. That fucking sucks. So, I don't know. Wish I could change. I'd love to try. I mean, I feel like I kind of am trying, but I could try harder. But what's the point? The consequences, right? The benefits of being a good person. The benefits of being a good person and the consequences of being a bad person. What a dichotomy. I think I used that word right. Anyways, logging off again. Just wanted to go on that little rant.